Good.
I'll just start right here. And we mentioned a lot about when this team gets rolling with 4 lines and you roll a 5-on-5. But in particular, what did you see out of Maddie's line last night that made a big difference?
I don't know if they didn't really change anything. I mean, they had, obviously some, things went their way. The first goal, obviously, they're, Heiskanen's down on the ice now. They did some good things to get to that spot, and to have that opportunity. We made good on the opportunities that we had in the second period. We were able to, score a few in bunches there, and that was the difference in that 6-7 minute span. It wasn't anything more or less than that. We were able to take advantage of our opportunities.
They had 17 shots in that period. I just kind of wonder when you went back and kind of analyzed it, what you thought got away.
Exactly what I said after the hockey game in the post game press. We gave up too much in that period. I mean, most of those, you give them credit for making good plays, but most of those came right off our tape. In terms of quick transition or a broken play that they're getting in behind us. That's not, those aren't opportunities that you could afford to give up to that hockey team.
McCann and Sprong, just what are their statuses?
No update on Spronger yet this morning. Still a little bit too early. Obviously, he was not available, and no change in status for Jared. He's obviously continuing through his work, but no change in status.
I don't mean to press you, but does that mean nothing's imminent, or just he's day to day?
Just no change in status. I mean, he's you saw he put a regular jersey on yesterday and was with us in morning skate. He's skating again today, but like I said, no change in status for him. Nothing imminent.
Can you talk about Justin Schultz's game a little bit? He's just kind of quietly producing points.
Schultz. I mean, Schultz is playing the way he's played all year. He's really, he's a big piece of our group. He's efficient in moving the puck out of the zone. He's one of the guys that's going to be key for us, as we work to, get more production out of our power play. And he's a great leader. I mean, he's got great presence about him. He's poised, he's calm, he's been through this before. So he provides a lot of good veteran leadership for us.
Dave, how important has his play been at the top of the offensive zone, just with retrievals and keeping the puck in play for you?
Are you talking power play? Power play.
Even 5-on-5, but
well, it's one of the things that he does so well. He's got a great ability at the top of the zone to extend plays. He's comfortable keeping tough plays, dirty pucks. He's comfortable keeping those in the zone, and then can make the next play to keep a play alive. So it's not just all the eyes up stuff where he's able to walk the line and find a shooting lane and sift it in. It's helping us get to that point that he's pretty efficient.
Is that skating? Is that reading the play? Is it both?
Oh, it's a little bit of everything. I mean, you have to be really comfortable to do that. You have to trust yourself. So you have to trust your skating and your ability, and then you have to have the confidence to do it. Especially when you're under pressure. It's one thing to do it when you have no pressure. It's a completely different animal when you have pressure coming to you, which at this time of year normally you do. So he does a nice job in that area.
Forgive me because I haven't been around all year, but I've seen two things with your team. One, you're in Seattle, so almost every trip's long. You play a high energy style. Like, how have you balanced practicing, not practicing, making sure they get rest? Right, like if you tapered it through the year, would you like to do work today and you just better off not?
We haven't tapered it a lot. We've truly, I mean, every group is a little bit different. I mean, some teams that I've had, are best to practice the day before and not morning skate. Other teams, in this one in particular, we've been in a pretty good rhythm where typically we haven't practiced the day before a game. We get our work done in the morning skate. We touch on things in our meetings, and then energy is really premium for us as we get into game action. So that's been a good rhythm for us. You saw us, when Dallas raised the temperature in Game 2, and we showed a little bit of fatigue. That's not a very good formula for us. So, rest has been really important for us, especially as you go through the intensity of games and the volume of games as we're going through right now in the playoffs.
Dave, I know you said you like Ty's game and the way he's jumped in the lineup for you, but you surprised at all just how comfortable he's been jumping into this moment and playing for you and being as productive and consistent as he has?
That's something you never know until you see, and you see it not over a 1 or 2 game span. We've now seen it over an extended period, and he continues to go out and do all of the little things that are necessary to be effective in the lineup. That's something that he has to continue to do, but we see no reason why he can't continue to do that. He's been as reliable as anybody we've had in the lineup, and as consistent as anybody that we've had in the lineup since he's entered.
Assuming you guys do get fully healthy at some point, has he made a case to find a way to stay in your lineup as you move forward with the way he's played?
Yeah, no question. He's been very effective. So, in his role, in terms of health and things like that, it changes on a nightly basis. You're working to get 1 or 2 guys back, and you see last night we lose Spronger, right? And that's the nature of, especially of the game at this time of year, with with how tight and physical and intense these games are. So, I guess I don't spend a whole lot of time predicting on what that is, what that health is going to bring us. But in terms of Ty, Karts' game, he's continued to bring us good value. And at this time of year, those are the types of players that you want to have in the lineup and that you need to have in the lineup.
Dave, you talked about after game 2, you wanted to see your team have a response. They come out and win the game in commanding fashion. Now you assume Dallas is going to want to have a response next game. What, if anything, do you do to prepare your room for that? That's
the playoffs. You just have to have a realization of, it's one game. The final score at the end of the day doesn't matter. It really doesn't. We were able to take a 2-1 lead in the series. It's a race to 4. We know and understand and respect how competitive and how good of a team Dallas is. We're pretty aware and I think intelligent enough to know that coming back in game 4, they're going to push back as well. Really all we can do is take care of ourselves. That's what we've done all year. Try and understand what the situation is, and then make sure we prepare ourselves as well as we can to do the things that we know that are necessary to help us be successful. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. You can make more out of it than you want if you want. But truly, that's what it is. So the onus is on us to get prepared and be ready to go for Game 4 tomorrow night.
This is obvious, but just looking for your words, right? The craziest thing is about you having 16 different goal scorers. McCann's not one of them. Burkowski's not one of them. Like, if you can get a 40-goal scorer back to that mix, like, what would that do for you?
Yeah, I'd like to get them both back.
Yeah, well,
I'd like to be around long enough to get them both back.
Right.
Well, it's what. Yeah, Jared's a real important part of our team. He's been a huge part of our team, and it's not just the 40-goal part. We've had to fill in. He's one of our 4 penalty killers, so we've had to fill that role, which puts added stress and minutes then on another player. It changes the look of your power play. Everything is a trickle down. So he's a huge part of our team. We want to get him back as soon as we can. Hopefully that'll be sometime this series. But until we're able to have him back, everybody else has to step up and just continue doing their job and do it at a high level.
Speaking of the penalty kill, how do you think you guys have handled the time that Jared's been out since you've had to make those changes? And because it seems like you've been clicking along still pretty good on that front.
Guys have adjusted, and guys have stepped in. Maddie stepped in and taken more of those minutes. The power play that we're facing puts you under a lot of stress. It's a hell of a unit. So we've had some moments where we've bent but haven't broken, and that's really important. We've gotten good goaltending. All of those things are going to need to continue, as you go through the the middle portion of this series.
Coach, after January, you guys' record against playoff teams wasn't spectacular, but you have rolled out 6 wins against obviously playoff teams in the last couple weeks. Are you of the mind that you click into playoff mode, or is it like if you don't got it, you don't got it?
We've been in play. Our mindset hasn't changed all year. You can add up our record against playoff teams at certain portions of the year. You can take the stats and you can build them however you want to present a case. We've been pretty good against playoff teams throughout the season. We've been very competitive. Our win-loss record is good. It's not great, but it's good. Believe me, we'd take that year in and year out. As you get to playoffs, it's every series is best out of 7, right? So you got to find a way to be one game above 500 through a 7-game series. That's what the test is. That's what the challenge is.
Have you ever seen Grubauer like this well be this confident at any point in your time coaching?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've watched him throughout his career, and he's going out and doing his job. And I felt like after Game 2 that there were going to be some areas of his game that he wanted to challenge himself on to be a little bit better. And I spoke to that a little bit last night after the game. I felt like he was no different than anybody else on our roster. He could benefit from a couple of days, a little bit of rest, and then push himself to be at his very best and clean up a few areas of his game. And I thought he did that last night. And a little bit hidden in the score is the importance of his play for us last night.
He finds that one puck that gets bounced up into the air, falling down on top of him there. Some of the breakaway chances, semi-breakaway chances he was able to stop last night. You mentioned that with the 17 shots in the second period, he came up with a lot of big ones for you in that period.
Yeah, those are the opportunities that in front of him we have to clean up. But those are the important saves that he made for us. The one I think going up and over is, for me, I think it's going in the net. I'm pretty sure. The opportunities where you let Robertson get in behind, Hintz get in behind. Like, these guys they're not easy to handle in those situations, and he did a nice job there. And more importantly, he did a nice job through traffic. This team creates and generates a lot with pucks coming to the net through traffic, and he battled hard on those last night.
Okay.
Good.
Thanks,
All right.
Dave.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. See you all tomorrow.
Yes.